Senior Vitality Revival, 5 Hidden Factors Eroding Family Bonds in Your Golden Years and How to Restore Them. Have you ever wondered why, even after a lifetime spent nurturing relationships and giving everything you have, those close family bonds sometimes start to feel distant? It isn't always a single dramatic event, but a slow, almost imperceptible drift, a series of small choices repeated over time that gradually build a wall between you and the people you love. Today, we're diving deep into 5 hidden factors that can erode family bonds in your golden years and sharing practical strategies to reclaim the warmth and connection that once defined your relationships. Whether you're struggling with the silence on the other end of the phone or noticing subtle shifts in conversation, the insights below are designed to help you understand and mend these gaps with empathy and honest dialogue. In our discussion today, you'll learn why small, repeated behaviors can make you feel isolated even when you've always been there for your family. We'll explore how overstepping boundaries, chronic criticism, and unresolved past hurts can slowly chip away at the connection you thought was unbreakable. And most importantly, you'll discover actionable steps to rebuild those cherished ties, making every conversation and interaction count. So, let us begin a journey toward renewal, a journey that honors both the wisdom of your experiences and the promise of genuine reconnection. Factor 1: The slow erosion of emotional connection. Have you noticed that those familiar phone calls and visits have started to feel a little more tedious, sometimes even tinged with an unspoken sadness? It can feel as though every conversation is burdened by unintentional pressure, and the warmth that once defined your family time seems to be fading with each passing day. Take Harold, for instance, a 72-year-old retired teacher who always believed his simple "how was your day" was enough to let his daughter know he cared. Over time, however, his daughter began to sense that these routine check-ins carried an unspoken expectation. Every call soon turned into an interrogation about every detail of her life. Though Harold's intentions were pure, the repetitive nature of the conversation eventually built an invisible barrier. His daughter started feeling that, despite his love, she was being measured by words rather than embraced by genuine affection. This emotional drift isn't about dramatic conflicts or loud outbursts. It's the cumulative effect of small moments when love becomes routine rather than heartfelt. When every interaction feels chore-like, a subtle distance forms even if neither party intends to create it. If you've begun to wonder whether your presence, as constant as it is, might be interpreted as burdening rather than supporting, it might be time to pause. One helpful strategy is to replace automatic questions with open-ended inquiries that invite honesty. Rather than simply asking, "How was your day?" consider asking, "What struck you most about today?" or "What made you smile recently?" This small shift places the emphasis on genuine sharing instead of ticking off a checklist of topics. Allow a natural pause in your conversation, listen deeply. When your loved one feels that you are truly interested in their feelings rather than just the routine details, the connection begins to transform. Over time, those moments of mindful listening can reverse the subtle erosion that has taken place, creating a space where every dialogue is a chance to reconnect. It's important to reflect on your patterns. Ask yourself if your calls have become automated, if you're simply reciting the same questions without truly engaging. By adjusting the flow and tone of your conversations, you can reintroduce the spontaneity and warmth that once defined your exchanges. Remember, you are not solely responsible for the distance. The emotional rhythm of a relationship is a shared dance of both giving and receiving. Even small changes like sharing a new story from your own day or expressing unexpected vulnerability can spark a renewed dialogue that bridges that emotional gap. Factor 2: Overstepping boundaries through unsolicited help. As life evolves, so too do the boundaries that each individual sets to protect their autonomy. In our golden years, it's natural to want to lend a hand wherever possible. Yet, what begins as beneficent support can sometimes feel like overstepping the invisible lines your adult family members have drawn for themselves. Consider Margaret, an energetic retired nurse who has spent years sharing her wisdom and lending her expertise, even going so far as to rearrange her son's living space for his own good. Although her actions are driven entirely by love and years of experience, her son slowly began to sense that his independence was being encroached upon. The unsolicited advice and extra help stifled his ability to build his own routines. Instead of feeling supported, he felt that his decisions were constantly being second-guessed. This feeling of intrusion can compound over time, leaving family members to retreat into their own worlds just to reclaim a sense of control. The nuance here lies in how help is offered. Instead of assuming that your way is the best way, try asking a simple yet powerful question: would you like me to help with this? This query empowers your family member to decide for themselves rather than feeling obliged to accept an intrusion. It's about recognizing that respect for someone's independence is an essential part of genuine care. By inviting input rather than dictating solutions, you affirm that while you're available, you trust their ability to manage their own lives. Reflect on times when you needed space to make your own decisions, moments when an unexpected hand, however well-intentioned, might have felt like a disruption. Relating to this feeling can help you understand how your actions might be received. It's not about withholding your support altogether, it's about recalibrating your offer to meet their needs while still honoring their autonomy. This respectful balance creates an environment where help becomes a welcome, invited presence rather than an imposed one. If you find that your assistance is often met with silence or a polite refusal, perhaps it's a sign that your approach might need a gentle adjustment. Sometimes, the most caring thing you can do is step back and trust that your loved one is more than capable. In doing this, you reinforce that your relationship is built on mutual respect rather than a hierarchy of caregiver and receiver. With every deliberate pause before offering help, you affirm their right to independence and create space for a healthier, more collaborative connection. Factor 3, Chronic criticism and the weight of unmet expectations. Over the years, even carefully worded feedback can gradually turn into a pattern of criticism that feels less like guidance and more like a judgment on every choice you make. For many seniors and even for those on the other side of the phone, this constant stream of critique can be overwhelming, leaving a lingering impression that nothing is ever quite good enough. Let's look at Victor, a 70-year-old whose life has been full of advice and tough love moments. Initially, his well-meaning suggestions were appreciated as signs of care. But as time passed, those suggestions slowly shifted into persistent reminders of shortcomings. Comments that once might have been delivered with love became a litany: "You should do this better," or "Why don't you try it this way?" Over time, his daughter began to feel that her every action was being scrutinized rather than celebrated. Instead of feeling uplifted by constructive criticism, she started to internalize these remarks as personal failures. This gradual accumulation of negativity creates an environment where the expectation to be perfect becomes a heavy burden. It isn't that constructive feedback is inherently harmful, it's when criticism becomes a constant undercurrent that it starts to erode self-esteem. If you begin to feel that your words, though intended to help, instead create distance between you and your family members, it may be time for a shift in perspective. A powerful remedy is to reframe your language. Instead of issuing directives or pointing out flaws, consider posing questions that invite reflection. Ask, "How can we make this process easier for you?" or "What would help you feel more supported right now?" These open-ended questions turn potential judgment into an opportunity for collaboration and understanding. By replacing habitual criticism with affirmations and questions that show genuine concern, you transform a conversation from a checklist of complaints into a space where mutual growth is possible. It's also helpful to recall times when harsh words affected you. Remember a moment when a single comment made you feel misunderstood or underappreciated? Use that memory to guide how you speak to your loved ones. Each carefully chosen word carries the power to either build up or break down the bridge of trust between you. Ultimately, by consciously substituting critical remarks with compassionate statements, you can ease the emotional burden on those you care about, allowing the relationship to evolve into one of understanding rather than ongoing judgment. Factor 4, the pain of unreciprocated giving and feeling overlooked. For many of us, a lifetime of giving is a badge of honor. Yet when your endless support is met with silence or taken for granted, that same generosity can leave you feeling used and profoundly isolated. It's a paradox faced by many seniors whose daily efforts to care for the family eventually become perceived as an expected duty rather than a heartfelt act of love. Take Eleanor, an 80-year-old retired librarian who has always made sure that her family's needs are met, from preparing holiday feasts to being the first to offer a shoulder to cry on. Over time, however, the significance of her contributions began to fade in the eyes of those around her. Her thoughtful gestures became routine, assumed to be a part of who she is rather than celebrated as extraordinary acts of care. Without genuine acknowledgement, those actions can hurt deeply, leaving you questioning if your sacrifices truly matter. When your efforts aren't reciprocated with gratitude, the imbalance can drive a wedge between you and your loved ones. The solution is to create a dialogue about mutual support. Instead of quietly suffering through feelings of neglect, consider initiating a conversation by saying, "I sometimes feel that the small efforts I put in are overlooked. How do you feel about the ways we support each other?" Such a discussion invites reflection from everyone involved and helps reset the dynamic so that giving is as much about receiving as it is about sharing. Furthermore, it might be time to evaluate the patterns of support in your relationships. Are you the only one who is consistently carrying the weight of minor tasks, or do you have opportunities for your loved ones to step up? Encouraging a more balanced approach where responsibilities and gratitude are shared can transform the family dynamic from one of unidirectional giving to true reciprocity. When every gesture is met with acknowledgement, no matter how small, the isolation that comes from feeling unappreciated begins to dissolve. It's essential to remember that asking for a little recognition is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is an invitation for deeper connection. By fostering an environment in which every family member feels seen and valued, you help pave the way for more fulfilling relationships during your golden years. Even a simple thank you can have a profound impact, reaffirming that your love and efforts are neither invisible nor taken for granted. Factor 5, clinging to past hurts and unresolved emotions. Sometimes, the most stubborn barriers to connection are not new issues at all, they're the lingering remnants of old wounds that were never fully healed. Many seniors find that past conflicts and unresolved emotions act as silent obstacles that block the flow of present-day intimacy. Even if these moments are dismissed with a casual "that's just how it was," their emotional residue can continue to cause pain and drive loved ones further apart. Consider George, a 74-year-old who grew up in a time when strict discipline and unspoken expectations were the norm. Though he now senses the need for change, the echoes of missed opportunities for reconciliation still reverberate in every conversation. His adult children might shrug off an apology with a simple "I know you meant well," but for George, the failure to fully acknowledge and address the hurt of the past has left an invisible scar. These unacknowledged wounds eventually transform into silent barriers that make it difficult for genuine connection to flourish. The key to healing lies in honest acknowledgement. Instead of pretending the past doesn't exist, allow yourself and invite your loved ones to revisit those memories with a commitment to learning and growing from them. A heartfelt "I'm sorry for what happened" or even an expressed desire to understand how old grievances still affect you both can open the door to reconciliation. While these conversations may be difficult, they are the first step in turning old pain into opportunities for transformation. It is important to approach this dialogue with vulnerability and to accept that healing is a gradual process. Every small conversation that addresses a lingering hurt is a brick in the foundation of renewed trust. Encourage family members to share their feelings about past events, and listen without judgment. By validating their experiences even if they differ from your own, you create space for forgiveness and genuine connection. The act of confronting old wounds may not erase them immediately, but it lays the groundwork for a future where past pains no longer cast long shadows over your present. Remember that letting go is not about forgetting, but about choosing to move forward together with a deeper understanding. When both parties commit to addressing these hidden hurts, the emotional distance that once seemed insurmountable can begin to diminish, replaced by empathy, mutual support, and the promise that your family bonds can be restored. Final thoughts: reclaiming connection in your golden years. The journey toward rekindling family bonds later in life is not marked by grand gestures or overnight transformations. Rather, it is a process built on mindful communication, deliberate pauses, and small changes in how we express care. Whether it's recognizing the gradual erosion of emotional connection, refraining from overstepping personal boundaries, softening chronic criticism, addressing the pain of unreciprocated giving, or finally confronting old wounds, every step you take contributes to building a bridge back to the people who matter most. Ask yourself, how can you reshape your interactions so that every call, every visit, and every shared moment feels genuinely nurturing? Perhaps begin by listening more deeply, speaking with more kindness, and sometimes even embracing a quiet silence that speaks louder than words. In doing so, you not only reinforce the vital family bonds of the past but also create new pathways for connection that honor both your lifelong experience and your desire to continue growing together. These golden years are not a time for resignation, they are an opportunity for renewal. By acknowledging that the small choices you make each day can either widen the distance or mend the gap, you empower yourself to rewrite your family's story. Each sincere conversation, every humble question, and the courage to address long-held hurts pave the way for a future where love is reaffirmed and cherished. So, if you find yourself feeling the chill of isolation or the weight of unspoken expectations, remember that it's never too late to reconnect. Reach out, share a genuine smile, craft an honest apology, or simply ask, "How can I be here for you in the way you need?" These moments, though they may seem small, are the seeds of transformation. They remind your family that even in later life, every heartfelt interaction has the power to revive dormant bonds and create a brighter, more connected future. Thank you for taking the time to explore these insights on why family bonds can begin to fade in our later years and how you can reclaim that connection. May each thoughtful pause and every gentle word contribute to a renewed legacy of love, respect, and shared joy in your golden years. Remember, real connection is built one heartfelt conversation at a time. If you found these insights valuable, consider sharing this article with others who might be experiencing similar challenges. Engage in the conversation and let your voice be heard. Together, we can inspire a movement toward renewed family bonds and a more vibrant, connected way of living. Stay curious, stay kind, and keep embracing the vitality of your golden years. Enjoy the journey of reconnection, and may every word you share bring you closer to those who matter most.